Hi members, been a little bit. I've been watching everything. I'm excited, exciting times. So let's update. I personally, and I want to encourage you, I am on paper in a binder. I'll show you. I am actually building what's in my mind and in my head with the wealth transfer for what the Lord has asked me to build on paper before I build it out. On paper before I have the funds to build it out. And I have it all here in a binder. And I want to encourage you to do the same because I promise you, because the Lord asked me this question. I was, doing what the Lord's asked me to do this year. You guys know I'm out in the public preaching parks. Now I'm in an office, just being obedient and seeking His presence. And just kind of having all of these visions and images, and in my prayer time, I see things. I'm like, wow, I really would like to build that, create that. And then I go back to, well, when the funds come in, it's game on. But the Lord reminded me, He said, daughter, don't think for a second that if you're not building on now without finances, when it comes to you having a surplus, you're going to be so overwhelmed with the abundance of what's coming in that you're not even going to know where to start, where to begin, what contractor to call, what real estate agent to call, what piece of property you want, what fencing you want, what. So He started reminding me of all of the massive dreamers, builders, apostles. Even if you're a builder, but you're not called to ministry, that's an apostle type of gifting. You're just not called to the fivefold, and that's okay, but you're a builder, right? You build and create things for the marketplace, and that is your ministry, that is your harvest field. Just an apostle is just a builder in the church. And if all of the big ones like Walt Disney and, those big compounds, all of that stuff was built on paper first, like models. He built what he wanted that was in his head, that was downloaded, the dreams and everything he wanted. He built it on a model first before he had the funds to start construction.
And now your host, Walt Disney. This is not Santa's workshop. It's just one section of a creative world where new attractions for Disneyland are conceived. Now, a great deal of time, sweat, and a few tears were expended on all this, but there's a lot of satisfaction in developing ideas into realities which become a part of Disneyland.
The Lord reminded me of all this. He said, daughter, start building on paper. So I started putting together a folder of barn stuff and what I want on the property as far as the ministry goes, what I want for livestock and barns, how I want the foliage to look. I want people to be able to come to the property and seek God and just be able to be on this property and just be able to experience the Lord with beautiful trees, flowers, fountains, horses, a place where we can gather, a place where we can worship, a place where you can just, even if it's not church, it's just outside. You can come to the property and read your Bible, put out a blanket and just be with your kids and, and so I'm building this on paper. So I want to encourage you, as the wealth comes in, start already today through the week, because sometimes when you don't have, not sometimes, all the time, when you do not have any finances and you feel so jailed, you feel so restricted, you feel like, what's the point? Because I can't build anything. I literally don't have $2. You can get to a point where you get depressed and oppressed because you feel like you don't have the freedom to create, because there's no money to create. Listen, start hoping and dreaming again and start creating a model before you have money to create the real thing. And that will keep your creative mind, that will keep your hope, that will keep your excitement, that will keep everything ready, and you won't step into that depression, oppression, and miss signals for this wealth transfer, okay? Number 2, I want to talk about some things that is happening now. Now, Joel Ogilvy, you guys know I love Prophet Joel. I do. I have watched him even before when I first discovered Joel as a new up-and-coming prophet last year. I immediately, if you saw my sermon from last night, I always ask myself, are they traceable? This one's starting to pop up, but where did they come from? Were they practicing witchcraft last week and now all of a sudden they're preaching? Where do they come from? What sacrifices have they laid down to be where they are mantled today? And I went back and traced Joel. He's traced to Prophet Aromi Aswabi or something. Gosh, I cannot say their names appropriately, but he is a fantastic man of God. And Nigeria, I want to say. Forgive me if he's not from Nigeria. But this man of God is Joel's spiritual father. And he has the integrity. He is a true bona fide heart of the Father prophet for that region. And Joel spent many days and nights suffering and fasting, living in poverty. I mean, I watched one of his videos, a testimony before the Lord mantled him to be where he is today, and the prophecies that he's able to acquire. His little home with his mom. It literally was a shack, a mud shack, dirt floor. I mean, he fasted and fasted for days and days. I think he said one time he fasted so long, this is Prophet Joel Ogilvy, that he was coughing up or spitting up blood. He sought the Lord with everything that he had, and the Lord honored him for that. And I bring Joel up because Joel mentioned a coin this week, something about Billy Cat, and I believe him. So I went ahead and I invested. I'm up 500%. I took that money and I put half my profits. I threw more into WikiCat, and I have some aside for, it'll probably recover a little bit. I'll buy some more. Strategy here. I want you guys, and that's why it's so important that you realize who the voices are of the Lord. And sometimes the voice of the Lord will tell you something, but it's really hard for a prophet to ever pin down an exact time. I just want to tell you that. That's prophets all across the board. A prophet can see something during a certain season, and they may think it's that season coming up or that season ahead, but really it's the season next year or the year after. But they saw it. Our job is to position and plant ourselves where the prophets heard the word of the Lord and wait for water. That's our job. So these are strategies. And I want to encourage you, don't ever be afraid to take profits. If you have prayed into a word that's been given about a specific asset, if you've taken my advice on something, if you've bought some assets I've mentioned or another prophet has mentioned, okay, and the prophecy or the opinion or the analytics is actually going great, don't ever be scared to siphon off profits. I want you guys to remember that nothing goes in a straight line forever. It's a market. So it'll swell, people will take profits. It'll swell, people will take profits. So don't ever be scared to siphon. I know it's hard because you're always thinking, gosh, there could be more. I want more. I want more. I know some of us are so needing this stuff for the kingdom. But greed will always cause us to lose. So the bull market hasn't even started yet. It's just warming up. So even if you start siphoning off profits and putting them in other projects that you absolutely know that you've heard from the Lord or others have heard from the Lord, you're going to do fine. We know XRP is a prophetic coin. Luna Classic's a prophetic coin. WikiCat. Shiba is supposed to be doing something here in a few years. I don't know when. Maybe this year. Maybe next year. We know that Stellar, Solana. So you could take these profits from these prophetic coins and start filling your bags. Start filling them up. And in the meantime, you're building on paper what you're going to do when you have the funds to pull the trigger. You're gonna save that property on Zillow. You're gonna save that piece of land, right? You're gonna save these things. You're already gonna have an idea of what it is you want, okay? So that when you have what you need, you're ready to go, and you're not making stupid choices because you're so money hungry. You know, that can happen. You are so starved for so long with finances that when they finally come in, you're gorge eating everything that you felt like you missed out on, right? I need this, and I need a new wardrobe, and I need a new car, and I need new furniture, and I need when you didn't need that stuff before you had money, right? It's okay to have nice things, but don't start gorge eating. And the way that we don't do that is we start building. Make yourself a binder, start building your plans that the Lord wants you to build, okay? All right, I hope this is helpful. I'll see y'all soon. I'm working on a few things as far as newbies who need to know how to do the brand new crypto stuff. It may be some review for some of you, but there's a lot of new people on here that don't even know where to start. I'm working on a video with that, a video on some XRP flare stuff. I'm gonna work on that. Wall Street stocks, I'm gonna work on that. So just be patient with me. I'm working on some goodies for you. This was just encouragement as we start heading in. Love y'all, bye.